Grand Rising family, and welcome back to the channel. It's Shay Seeking, and this is not Joe Mama's Bible Study, along with a little bit of his story lies, um, where we give an alternative approach to looking at historical moments and biblical stories. Okay, so we're going to be going into the book of Ezekiel. Now, just a quick disclaimer, I'm not here to tell you what it is, what it ain't. I'm just sharing what it looks like to me. Everybody should very well do their own research. Um, Many people may think that I am religious because I am speaking so much about the biblical text, but I feel like if we can untangle this, since it's a book that's supposedly been around so long, so many people in the world are accustomed to it, and I believe that it has everything that we need in this text to bring out of here and go into the into the matrix or this so-called real world in the past and now, okay, present, to see things on a deeper level as to what this text is really saying. So I'm not religious in any manner. I don't attend any church. I don't subscribe to any of that stuff. The thing is, I see things when I'm reading the word, and so I am bringing you guys along on the journey. Some things may be something that like might completely start making you think, and that's all I want to do about how you've been told or the perception you've been given by your indoctrination stations, such as education systems and churches, okay, and religion itself. I think religion is it is the one of the roots of all evil because I believe that it's given us a false perception, like I said, as to what we're seeing here. So today I'm going to go ahead and go into Ezekiel, like I said. I have the Living Bible here, and I also have the King James. And I kind of think I have everything together, but y'all know how it is on this channel. I tried to bring it to you last night, but again, I had this major headache. And usually when I have headaches, I don't know, I like to kind of sit through them. I don't know why. Call me whatever you want, but instead of taking something unless it's too excruciating. So, I've been just like in this upbeat mood. I've been in this whole thing with slowing down on promoting things such as 5G and all their plans because I don't know, for some reason, I feel like a lightness. I feel a very happy feeling for some reason that there's going to be an outcome that we would never expect. So, again, I hope you guys are doing okay. And I hope you're not worrying yourself to death or letting the mainstream media do that to you. Because again, us staying inside, not being in the sun, being in fear, those are things that will also mess with your immune system when it comes to this thing that's going around, which everybody has their opinion about it. But in my eyes, something is just not right about the whole thing. And I don't understand why we would have to crash an economy in order to talk about this flu. I said I wasn't going to say it. This thing, okay? When 90,000 people, I believe, alone die from the regular flu every year, and no one makes not one commercial about washing your hands and staying in, and they don't shut down one damn thing. They don't take the children out of school, anything. So we just act like it's just not happening. If that's not a real pandemic that's been going on at least for the past 10 years, those numbers have been about that big. Even when they so-called have for 50 or 60% of the population taking the flu shot. So I don't know. I just point things out that I just point things out. So anyhow, let's go ahead and get into this. Um, so I'm watching this thing, right? It's I think it's on the channel of the fifth kind. And they're talking about aliens and all this other stuff, and I just feel like it. Sometimes I watch these things and I'm just burning up inside because they're saying things that are showing me things as they're saying them, and then I start to study. So I'm sitting there looking at this screen, reading the first chapter of Ezekiel that they have set up on the screen for like 30 minutes. I'm just going over and over it, just like in a zone. And, I noticed 571, right? So I'm like, okay, well, I know when they're using 571, it would be fair for me to go ahead and add the one and see what was going on in the Americas Okay, or see what was going on, period, in 1571. So that's where I bring you guys to this. And it's just like this information is all over the place. I'm not a professional. I haven't done deep research. But these people that have, that like I forget his name, the guy that does all the stuff on the Anunnaki and all the alien theory stuff. They've gone to school for all these years. They've spent 60 years of their life doing this research and the study and this stuff, and they're talking over your head. See, that pisses me off. Deceiving the masses, especially when people like these people, they like their content, they're looking up to these people for something, and in a matter of an hour, I can put together this. Now, this may not be proving anything to anyone. It may not be proving anything to anyone. Everything is so mixed up when it comes to all these different dynasties and in real life matter. Like, okay, so I feel like, there's not even a method to my madness when I'm bringing this to you, right? So if I'm thinking if it's 1571, that's meaning that's history, right? We'll look at that and say, oh, let me look in history to see where you're not going to say, oh, let me look in the Bible, because most people don't understand that the Bible is talking about these very things. So on this show, they're talking about how, like I'm saying, some guy was fired from his position at a college. They loved his work and raved about him and all this other stuff. But as soon as he started putting together information that made so many different things correlate, that were either in mythology, folklore, like I'm telling you, the biblical and historical. And he started to put together these storylines and say, this stuff happened almost exactly to the T as to what is going on in the Bible. And they didn't like that. So he was fired. And this is what I mean by, you can be all the scientist you want, you can be all so as scholarly as you want, but when it comes down to the truth, if you're talking about speaking something that's going to make people think, or that might change or alter their agenda or the mindset of the people, you might as well forget about it. You see what I'm saying? So you can't trust anything these people are saying. So I'm saying a person like me that don't know anything about this can sit here and put together this thing that I'm about to show you guys now, and these people can't do that. That's a fucking lie. See, and that's where I get pissed off, because when we look at history and we see these people that sit in these monuments, alongside these monuments, and they study Abraham Lincoln over and over. Every books, there's thousands of books written about this man. You have all this paper, all this information, and all these things about this man. Yet you haven't pointed out the fact that his family tree matches to the T family trees from the Bible, with the same names, not just the same names, but they married the same names of the same people that married the same people in the Bible. And I just can't understand this. So one person, is frustrating being a handful of people. I'm pretty sure there's more out there than me, okay, that are putting together this stuff that's been building up like a big old snowball for millions of years. Just think about the biggest snowball you can fucking think of in your life. Trying to unravel that and bring it to the masses. And my main goal at the end of the day is to show you that there's no religious aspect of, like how Ezekiel said, oh, I saw something in the air, and they flipped it and turned it and gave you a perception of what he saw, and that is not what it is in my eyes. Okay, so you guys know I did something on the tarot and the Torah a while back, and we talked about Ezekiel's will, and I brought up the fact that the I think it's this card of the wheel matches what he was saying almost to the T in my eyes, the way I see it. Okay, so this video is for those who can, those who have eyes to see and ears to hear. Okay, so we made it that far to say, oh, wait a minute. Okay, so why are we so against the tarot cards and so-called witches and paganism and everything, if these cards are clearly what we're talking about? A lot of the cards, it's not just that one, match what's going on in the see, I get them both mixed up, in the Torah. So the Torah, and even if when you start dealing with etymology and words and the way things are pronounced as to what they appear to be with words, I mean with letters, whatever. Okay, so anyhow, I'm going to show you another version of what Ezekiel may have been seeing. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoy. Let's go ahead and get into it. And I don't even know how I'm going to do this, but we're just going to go ahead and start reading from the King James Version, since I know a lot of you guys have that around you somewhere, where I think that is the most confusing Bible out of all of my collection, from antiquity the bicentennial, all the Bibles, I think that King James is the most difficult to interpret, especially for people that think that they just can go to church every Sunday, listen to what the pastor is regurgitating and giving you a perception of, and also going home with that same mindset, and to think that that's not altering your mindset as to what you're seeing here. That's a lie. Because once you start going off from there, they're going to start looking at you and start to question the pastor. They're going to look at you funny, and they're probably going to get rid of your ass because you're thinking. Okay? So at the end of the day, I don't know. Okay? So, like I'm saying, religion is what will stop you from being able to see what's really going on. And that's just it. So it says, now it came to pass in the 13th year, in the fourth month, in the fifth day of the month, I was among the captives. Okay? By the river of Chebar, I'm guessing, that the heavens were opened up and I saw a vision of God. Okay? So I'm going to show you how, just because I think it's important to do that with this one, I'm going to show you how or what the Living Bible says, which I feel like I think you can get one now. Look, I got this Bible from an estate sale a while back, couple months back. The first Bible that I had that's a Living Bible, when I started looking for Living Bibles online, I could not find them. Okay, but recently somebody asked me, can I show them the Bible or let them know what Bible I have, and she was trying to get the image of it, and I sent her the picture, but on Facebook. But for some reason, the picture was blocked out. Okay, so anyhow, we went through a whole thing where I finally got it to her, and then I had to just describe to her. I went on eBay and I found the book, and I'm like, well, damn, it's a lot of them on here now. But again, I think a generation is passing away right now, and a lot of these Bibles are now being more available, especially when it comes to the Living Bible. And it's not that much. I think it's under $20. So if I were you, I would get me one. But anyhow, I'll show you how that differs from what it says in the Living Bible. So it says Ezekiel was a priest, the son of Busi, who lived with the Jewish exiles beside the Chebar Canal in Babylon. One day late in June, when I was 30 years old, the heavens were suddenly opened up to me. Okay. And I saw this vision. Okay. So, oh, excuse me. So it just says, and I saw this vision from God. Okay. So, on this thing they were talking about. Now, I wanted to point out to the fact that they said June, right? Okay. They said June. And then in the Living Bible, they tell you an actual date. In the King James Version, it says in the fourth month. Well, damn, if I was going to look at the fourth month, what you got? January, February, March, April. That's April. So I'm going to think we're talking about April 5th, right? Okay. I'm going to think we're talking about April 5th because I'm not knowing right away that we're talking about the Hebrew calendar. Now, if I go to the fourth month in the Hebrew calendar, I'm going to end up in June. So what helps me see is this Living Bible because it's already telling me in June. So then when I look at the Hebrew calendar, I can see that that's June. So then now I can know that I might be headed in the right direction because everything has been raveled into each other. So it's kind of hard to dig your way back through if you just don't use the theory and go with it. And see, that's why I don't like to push it on anyone. It's just the way I think. Sometimes stuff is just shown to me in a different way and I just don't know how to explain it. But again, they were trying to say that these are aliens, on this show. I'm sorry, I don't want to make it too long. They're trying to say that these people, that these are aliens. So like another thing on this channel is bringing things back down to what's tangible, right? For us to think about the Bible and it has something to do with us, but we skipped over this history here that we've gone through, and they want you to focus on something that is what I feel is this like not tangible. Like if I wasn't there, nobody living right now was there. I can't, I haven't seen any of these wonders happen in real life. Even when it comes to aliens, I haven't seen one yet. We all have camera phones and everything. No one has really have any real clear footage of anything. Now, could there be something weird out there flying? Yes, but it could be these same people that have created things in the past, okay, that we are thinking like the part about what we did about I don't know if it was shoot. This was one of my earlier videos. Um, and we talked about the grasshoppers, okay, and how they said that they were high up and they looked like grasshoppers to them, and they flew down and they had these things or whatever. That already made me think about, if we go far enough back, far enough back, because I know that we have the 18 and 1900s stories of that in the biblical text. That is leading me to see some kind of army presence with green suits on with parachutes. And if you look at a picture of this in antiquity and you think about what they're saying in the biblical text, it kind of just tells me right there that that's probably what we're talking about. So then I can go ahead and look at what wars they had to use parachutes and everything and go from there. Okay, so I just can't stand when people are trying to talk about all this stuff that's just not tangible, even when it goes to outer space and planets and stuff like that. Have you been to the moon? Do you know anybody that's been to the moon? Have you been, you know what I'm saying? So all we can go off of is people that lie for a living, telling you that they went there, and one of the people coming back and saying we didn't go there at all. And now they put him under fire and say he crazy and all this other stuff. So again, I don't deal with that, and it won't really matter to me in that sense. Okay, in a spiritual sense, talking about astrology and all that other stuff, okay, it may be different. But when we're talking about going out of space, I won't ever go there. So at this point in time, it's not really that important for me to really know. Hell, I think everything happened and those who came are from the planes. And see, and that's what I'm saying. When we're talking about aliens, who else is an alien? An alien is a person that comes to a place that wasn't from there, and they do certain things and they probe the people, enslave them, harm them, they disregard them, they don't care about them, they steal resources. You know what I'm saying? So who are the aliens? You see what I'm saying? They want you to look in the sky for these motherfuckers and you ain't never seen them, but they already came. The invasion has already come. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying? So I'm all over the place, but I'm hoping y'all following me here. Okay? Because let's just bring these things back down to something that's realistic and tangible that we can actually use. Okay? So anyhow, let's keep going. So he says, in the 5th day of the month, which was the 5th year of King Jehoiakim's captivity, the word of the Lord came expressly unto Ezekiel the priest, the son of Buzi, in the land of the Chaldeans, by the river Chebar. Okay, and the hand of the Lord was there upon him. Okay, and I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north. Now, let's see, like Urban the second and Innocence the third, Pope Pius the fifth, sought to be called the Crusader, were struggled to keep their grips on the Mediterranean Sea. And again, I don't know about the Mediterranean Sea, but I'm just saying, I don't know. It was more important than ever to show the United Religious Front. So I guess they was going to show their ass, really. To the north, okay. The Reformation began with Martin Luther, had created a violent scheme within the Christian world. To the east was the growing power of Islam under the Ottoman Turks. Oh, if anything, I'm trying to show duality here. That there was a empire such as the Muslim empire here, as well as what they have there now. Ethiopia here, as well as what they have there now. Asia, in a sense, here, what they have there now. Egypt in America, as opposed to modern day Egypt, what they have right now. Babylon in America, as opposed to wherever they want you to think Babylon is. So, you see what I'm saying? I'm trying to show you that correlation as to what if these were dual places, or did everything happen here in the so-called old world, okay, which would be talked about in the Old Testament, okay, and now they've duplicated it and taken it over to Eurafriasia and dispersed it. Same thing with all of your stuff. Ancient Egypt in America, okay? Why wouldn't they take all of your stuff, disperse it over there to try to make you think? And this is why a lot of those things that are over there in Egypt that we see images of look like they had been broken up, cut down, whatever kind of way, and then placed back just in some random spot. Because I feel like a lot of that stuff came from different places, and the ruins are just there. A lot of the people that are there with those ruins don't have any idea where they came from. Same thing in all these different places. I think that some of this stuff was moved. Now, is there a hand that might be stronger? Is there some kind of power that these people can have over regular so-called human beings, people, whatever they think they want you to think that you are? So, is this possible? Yes, but I just want to show you something that kind of might be like they just regular motherfuckers that just made you think that they was somebody else, larger than life. You know what I'm saying? So, under the Ottoman Turks, okay. But anyways, I want to point out that they're talking about the north, okay. So we just talking about they're coming from the north, and a great cloud and like fire enfolding itself, and a brightness was about it, okay. Um, and out of the midst thereof, as the color of amber, out of the midst of the fire. Okay. Also, out of the midst thereof came the likeness of four living creatures, and this was their appearance, and they had the likeness of a man. Okay. So, let's see. I'm just going to go through a couple of things here. Okay. How I can kind of bring you into this just by showing you. Because, again, I'm a seer. I see shit. I point it out. I show it to you. I share it with you. Okay. Just to show you that this might be what we're really talking about. Okay. So all that other stuff is just gotten you, you know what I'm saying, all messed up, possibly. Okay. So here we go. Um, Pope Pius, whatever, the fifth, I think. I guess he was born in January 17th, 1504. And he died in May 1572. Okay, and it says, report that as the Battle of Lepanto ended, Pius rose and went over to a window. Okay. And you know how they say the eyes are the windows to the soul, and how we're going to read about the four eyes? Why that made me think about windows or something? Where he stood gazing toward the east. And then it talks about something about this. But my point was looking for, okay, so we're saying that this man was living from that time. He was involved in this Lepanto. That was the first thing that drew to me once I was researching and looking for what was going on in Ezekiel, right? Now, we have Agabus, which could be some word or some name that's been used in the biblical text, but it might be pronounced or spelled slightly different. Okay, and then you have Amos. We know that that's there. Anna, I'm not sure. Barak or Barach or whatever you want to call it. We know that that's there. So is this the person that we're talking about in the Bible in the 1500s, in the fifth day? Do you see what I'm saying? In the fifth day in Genesis. That's basically what the 1500s is in my eyes. So, what about David? Yeah. Elijah? Ezekiel? Habakkuk, whatever his name is. Okay. Yes. Okay. But Ezekiel was there. Okay. And this is in the 1500s. Now, he's there. This is going on. Wait, what does this say? History of Rosary. The sign and the cross rooted in the Old Testament writing of the prophet Ezekiel by the Christian fleet victory over the Turks at the Battle of Lepanto in 1571. So, is it 571? Because I want, like I said before, while they're playing this video and they're showing this, that he's telling this story, they're showing like an aircraft or a spaceship or something, trying to say that this is what it was. And I'm just trying to bring you back down to reality, that we ain't never seen one of them motherfuckers ever. So But we know we see ships, and we know that they spend billions of dollars still to this day on ships and submarines and air kind of craft. And we know that some of these people are a little bit more well versed in aircraft, and they might have had a little bit more hybrid aircraft back in the day than we would think that they did. Okay, because again, they only tell you what they want you to know. Okay, so anyhow, we're just saying the prophet Ezekiel, and we're talking about this battle. So what I'm just saying, is it 571 AD, or is it just 1571 and they done fooled you with that 1,000 years? That if you add the one back and do research, you'll find a story that is very similar or very exact. We're talking even numbers of deaths and stuff sometimes with this. Um, you see what I'm saying? Okay, so let's keep going. And I'm going to show you. I just wanted to point that out. And again, I show this stuff to you, so if you want to do your own research, maybe you already own this and you just wanted to see something. So again, when we're talking about the Ottoman Empire, or when we're talking about even, what was it? Mm, Goodness. When we're talking about the location, was this really the location that they're giving us in the biblical? You know what I'm saying? Because names are going to change, they're going to alter things or whatever. That was going on in supposedly in the 571. Okay, really just not that long ago in 1571 is what I'm saying. Okay, so so when we're talking about this, and we're talking about Spain and Papal, whatever, going against the Ottoman Empire, where is the Ottoman Empire? Was the Ottoman Empire somewhere here in South America? Because this is the list that I pulled up to try to see, how many wars happened. I tried to just look specifically for South America. Let's see. The victorious party and the defeated party. So let's see. Um, So, okay, let's see. This is a list of wars that began in 1500 to 1799. So, again, you can look in 799. This one, I'm just saying, remove the one, and it's going to be, from what I'm seeing, it's going to be a biblical way to look at it. When you put the one back, it turns into history magically for some reason. Other wars can be found in the historical list of wars, and the list of wars extended by diplomatic irregularity. Major conflicts of this era include the 30-Year War in Europe, the Congo Civil War in Africa, and the Qing, I don't know, conquest of Ming in Asia. Again, they're giving us this, but is this really where it happened? You see what I'm saying? Is this the Congo in America, or the rainforest, or is this something, was this just because we're dealing with Europeans, was this just a war that was dealing with the United States or the colonies, right? And then this, more of a, when we're talking about Asia, are we talking about the Nagas? Why are there so many things that have to do with the Nagas in Asia today, just thrown there in the middle of nowhere? And then there was a Naga. I feel like there was something that was symbolic to that, or had to do with a serpent empire in Central and South America, and even on the coast of California. I found on maps in America. So again, this is what I'm saying. So Spanish conquest of Peru, okay, and South America, and the American Revolutionary War in North America. So, you know, again, it would have happened in North America. What was going on with the colonies in the states at that point in time? How was the land divided? How were the governing forces divided at that point in time? So I think this was the one that I was looking at, because it was kind of hard. It kind of tricked me a little bit as to where we were, because okay, 71, um, but I had to go here because this is 1570 to 1573. So I would have missed it if I was just staying up here. But and then how does this? Let's see. Portuguese Empire. Okay, so yeah, it just makes you wonder. It just really makes you wonder. And then I guess this is the people that won, but this is just the empire, and then this is the Holy League with all of these different people. And I don't know. I think these were the victors. Okay, so here's another of them giving you. When we talk about Venetian, then I knew we could be talking about something a little bit more fancier. So we're gonna go into some ships and stuff that these people used to sail. So I'm all about the imagery and just the key words that I've taken out. Okay. And then maybe if you guys would like, we can keep on going on the road if I can, for as long as I can stay on it. But for right now, I'm just getting the urge to share it with you guys and, keep on moving. And maybe you can add something to it. So, let's see, these different wars or whatever. But even here, they're giving you some form of a heavenly image of this whole thing that was going on. You see what I'm saying? And there was a lot about some paintings and stuff around this time that were taken away and never recovered. Okay. Um, so let's see. I'm trying to think. Okay, so the belligerents were these people here. And then the commanders and leaders. Oh, and they were talking about fallen angels and wings and stuff because I think he's going to say something about wings. But my whole thing is, hold on, that's my door.